Good afternoon and welcome to Quest for Thunder. It's Sunday the 6th of May and we're here at the boat to continue on with our effort of refitting and getting her ready to sail and cruise and try to make her a home. So this weekend, many of you will recognize this. If you do, you know what ensues. Yes, painting and prep for painting, which is what we're going to be doing today. So it's not exciting. It's not a big, exciting, engine repair or some sort of equipment outfitting. It's the mundane task of prepping the bulkhead and getting it ready for paint. Alright, so we've done the prep work and we've taped off all the port lights and any place where I don't want paint against wood, bulkhead, cabinetry, port lights. As you can see, this surface that we have here presents a bit of a problem in that it is sort of a uneven surface. If you recall in earlier videos, this surface was covered with 1/4-inch plywood, veneer plywood that matches the cabinetry in the boat. And it went all along the port lights. So we cut it out around the port lights here, cut it out all around the port lights and took it out. That left us with this raw fiberglass that was very, very bumpy. Now, trying to sand fiberglass down, not a real good idea. We would be here forever and we would be covered in fiberglass. And so there were a number of alternatives that we could have used to cover this, but none of them really would have worked that well, because in every case where we would have had to add something to the bulkhead, we would have had to deal with the area around the port lights where we cut out the plywood, and we have about a 1/4 inch there. And so anything that we would have put on here, like say for instance hull line or anything, we would have had to try to get it really, really close to this edge so it would have a finished appearance. And I just didn't think we had the skill level to do that, so I opted not to do it. Now, we could have decided to done some sort of texture on these walls, I guess, on these bulkheads, to help hide the imperfections rather than bondoing. And I guess maybe that might have worked, I don't know. The bulkheads are up high enough to where they're not going to be grabbed, they're not going to be bumped into. There shouldn't be too much impact on them other than when we're undoing the dogs on the port lights to open the port lights. But so I don't think there'll be a lot of impact to them. So it's possible that just using a textured material might have been fine, then we just painted over it. But I mean, we wanted a nice smooth surface, and this is going to be our home here. Doesn't look like much of a home right now, but we're going to move in here and we're going to live in here. And so we wanted it to look as nice as we could make it. And so we chose to use a Bondo and to go over the surface and then and fair it out. So we have a fair surface, fairly. I mean, it's still, I mean, it's fiberglass. Okay, so it's definitely not perfectly flat everywhere, but it's good enough. The deal is that there are still some imperfections in this, and no matter what we do, I don't want to have to go over it again and Bondo it again and again and again. So no matter what we do, we wind up with these little imperfections, and there's not much that we can do about it. There's a pinhole right there. So there's not really a whole lot that we can do about it from this perspective. So what I did was I started looking and doing some research on products that we could use, and I discovered a product that I'll show you here in a second. So this is the product that I found, and basically it's a primer, and it's made by Zinsser, and they've been around since 1849. They've been around a long time making coatings, and it's a high buildup binding primer. So the more coats you put on, the thicker the primer becomes, and it's good at covering imperfections in the wall. It also, for those that have a peeling problem, it stops peeling paint, creates a smooth finish, seals weathered surfaces. It's got flexibility, so that's good for a boat. It dries white, and it's you can top coat it in 2 hours. It's water based. It's good for interior and exterior, and you can actually tint this particular. You can tint the can. You can actually tint this so that it could be, you could have a colored primer for helping you with whatever colors you're going to put on. We're going with a white paint, so we didn't need to tint this, but it's three times thicker than your normal high build binding primer, and so I haven't seen it work yet, but a lot of people say it's great. Good coverage. So this is what we're going to be using to prime those surfaces, and if you use this primer, you have to use a latex paint on the other end. So that's the only drawback. You can't use an oil base with this particular product. So that's it for this week. I'll save you the boring painting. I'm sure that everyone's seen a roller go across the surface or a paintbrush getting wielded. So there's really nothing exciting to see as I paint the bulkheads. But the next time that we have a video, you should be able to see the finished product. Well, at least the primed product. Probably have to put a couple of coats on, but we'll be sure to show you what it looks like once all the primer's on, before we get to putting on the paint, and then again when we get ready to put on the paint. So thanks for tuning in. I know it was a kind of a short video with a kind of a humdrum topic, paint. It's like watching the grass grow. But it's all necessary. It's all part of putting the boat together in a way that makes it our home. And so we told you that we would share everything with you as we went along, and this is part of it. And so we're sharing it. So again, thank you for joining. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, we'd appreciate it if you would. Also, if you don't mind, we'd like to ask you to share this with your family and friends. It helps us to increase our viewership. We enjoy doing these videos. We'd like to keep doing them, and we appreciate it when people watch and when people make comments, when people encourage us, because sometimes you get caught up in the day-to-day mundane tasks, and you sort of lose sight of the big picture, which is to
move aboard and live a cruising life. And right now, tied up to the dock, it's kind of hard to see that coming to fruition. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll be able to at least get the boat into the bay. We've done a lot of work that will allow us to take the boat out and be safe. That was a big thing for us, safety. And so we've accomplished all of the items on our list to make it safe to go. Everything else is pretty much aesthetic. So hopefully in the future we'll have some sailing videos and a few bay videos, you know. And until then, from the crew of Thunder, here's wishing you fair winds and following seas.